Good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome to this thing that I do called Thor's Entertainment. I am Thor, and today I am doing another Fatal Friday video. And Fatal Friday is the series I do where I go into the Kombat League for Mortal Kombat 1, and using the main roster and cameo fighters, I try to get their unique finishers like the Brutalities and Fatalities. On this occasion, Sub-Zero is returning to my efforts in the Kombat League. Using him and the kameo Sareena, we are going after the Hairline Fracture Fatality for Sub-Zero. Now that is the default Fatality for Sub-Zero, but in addition to that, it is the Fatality where Sub-Zero does his very best Captain Boomerang impression and creates a long strip of ice, throws it like a boomerang, it cuts the opponent in half, and then it circles around just like boomerangs do, and then it hits the opponent one more time for what was already a killing blow, but just a little extra effort in there just to really make sure the job is well done. And this time around in the Kombat League, we are going to be going against somebody using smoke, and my opponent will also be using the kameo Sareena. And I'll just go ahead and continue on with my comparison that I made a moment ago where I said Sub-Zero is doing his very best Captain Boomerang impression. Now, if that is the case, I need to think about who this person might be. Who would Smoke be in the DC universe that our Captain Boomerang would be going against? So let's see, all I really need to do here is just think about what character in DC controls smoke or mist or vapors, just, anything like that. And, Actually, I'm drawing a little bit of a blank here, which is kind of sad considering I actually follow comics pretty closely. And suddenly I'm wishing I was going against somebody other than Smoke. Like, plenty of DC characters use fire, so if I was going against Scorpion or Liu Kang, I'd be like, yeah, this is Firestorm, or yeah, this is El Diablo, or something like that. And we want to keep it like strictly kind of related to the Suicide Squad. If I was going against Raiden, I guess we could say this was Voltex. Someone else could also uses electricity. Hell, let's just go ahead and get Sindel, and then I can say, hey, look, it's Black Canary. Man, wow, I am really drawing a blank. Who controls smoke, or I guess wind, or really anything like that? Who controls air? I mean, maybe Weather Wizard? You know what? Let me go ahead and just look this up. I'm kind of struggling here. Let's see. And okay, I'm back after Googling for a little bit, and quite frankly, I didn't get like the greatest results for a person in DC Comics who controls smoke. For some reason, I kept getting results like, people who use like smoke pellets, like Batman or Ra's al Ghul, which, I don't know, that doesn't really seem to fit here, so... I felt really good about this little comparison, this little analogy, whatever you want to call it. And now as time has gone by, I'm feeling like this is kind of just nose-diving into the ground. And considering this comparison has not worked out the way I wanted it to, I guess it would kind of make sense just to go ahead and remove that from the video entirely and just find something else to talk about. But you know what? Nah, we're just going to go ahead and keep that in. This little mental exercise was kind of fun for me, and you know what? Why waste the struggle? We'll just go ahead and keep it in there. But considering I could not find a DC character that's really comparable to Smoke to go ahead and throw out there to continue this Captain Boomerang versus somebody else in DC thing, I don't know, if anyone else ends up watching this, let me know if there is a character in DC that you think kind of matches up with Smoke. But considering I can't really continue that conversation anymore, considering I just don't really know where to go with it, yeah, we're facing off against Smoke. And on top of that, this Smoke user has managed to drive me into a third and final round to determine who is going to win the very first match of the set. Which, considering how gigantic my life lead was, yeah, I'm definitely going to win this thing. Now, Smoke, he did try to make a little bit of a comeback there at the very end, like, for instance, he went ahead and activated his Fatal Blow, which would not have mattered considering I went for the sweep at the exact same time, but Smoke does phase out of his physical form for a brief moment and leap into the air to try and hit you, and then that's what activates the Fatal Blow. And just as he leapt into the air in his Smoke form, that's when I went for the sweep. So technically he jumped right over that motherfucker, and then he ends up hitting me with it, and I mean, it did make a difference in the end, but it's kind of funny how that worked out. So yeah, he managed to at least get that Fatal Blow damage against me, and we all got to see that animation, and it was awesome. I'm not going to complain about that too much. A win is a win, and now we are on to the second match of this set, and all I need to do is win this second match, and then everything is over, and we're going to go for that fatality. And I have definitely said this in other videos, but whenever I go out of my way to highlight a fatality in one of these Fatal Friday videos, I don't typically do the fatality immediately. It is my preference that we go ahead and win the entire set. And then after I win the match that's going to determine that I won the entire set, that is when I go for the fatality because it is at that point I feel I have truly earned it. After all, I won the entire thing. Now, I have done the fatality sooner than the final match point, but those were typically in cases where I did not necessarily think that I was going to be able to get a whole lot of victories with that character. And I'm specifically thinking of Natara when I say that. But that was pretty early on whenever I was making these videos, and my mentality has changed on it quite a bit. I definitely have on the mindset at this point that I can win with any character. Some of them may be a little bit easier than others, since some of them are a little bit more intuitive for me to use than others. So yeah, no more early match number 1 fatalities. You either win everything and then go for the fatality, or you lose and we have to go on to another matchup against somebody else, and then maybe that one will go better.
Fatality. Sub-Zero wins.
And after throwing one gigantic ice boomerang through my opponent, it circled around and then impaled itself in his head. That was the Hairline Fracture fatality for Sub-Zero. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that fatality, and if you did, stick around to the very end of the outro and you'll get the opportunity to see it again. And with that one out of the way, I think I only have one more video for Sub-Zero specifically for his finishers, and I believe that's going to be highlighting his second fatality. Now, that won't be the very last Sub-Zero video, because lately I have been using him to help get some of the brutalities for some of the kameo fighters that have some distance requirements that are a little bit tricky. The mentality there being if Sub-Zero can freeze them in the location that I need my opponent to be in, then my kameo fighter can go for the brutality that's otherwise kind of difficult. For example, that was the case whenever I was working with Striker trying to get his grenades brutality, and whenever I was working with Kano to try and get his knife throw brutality. Both of which I ended up getting with Sub-Zero, so look forward to those if they're not already out. But yeah, with that fatality out of the way, there's really not too much more to say. Just thank you for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I do have a bunch of other finisher-related videos on my Thor's Entertainment channel. Those are under the Mortal Kombat 1 online playlist. Also, if you're really into the Mortal Kombat stuff and really like the stories, I have played through a decent amount of the story modes in Mortal Kombat. Those are also available on the channel to watch. But yeah, with that out of the way, thank you again for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.
Finish him. Fatality. Sub-Zero wins.